Hey guys, how's everybody doing? So, driving in Greece. This is a quick video, as it says in the title. Driving in Greece, top tips for tourists. So this is basically if you've never driven in Greece before and you want to get an idea of what it's like, if there's any things you should know. So I'm a bit organized with this video. I've done a little list. So for a start, road markings, as you can probably see from the road that we're driving on, there's no white lines on the right, on the edges, in the center. This is not typical, but you can expect that many roads either have no white lines or extremely faded white lines. Maybe coming from Britain, where the white lines are sort of a bit anal with them being everywhere, but you soon get used to it. Also, cat size, especially if you're coming from Britain, very few cat size on the roads. Maybe on the newer roads that you'll see them. Signage with regards to getting where you're going, i.e. where towns are and places, the signage is quite good. You can see the street signs on the corners of the streets. The signs are quite small, but they're in English and Greek. If you need them, they're there, so that's not too bad. When it comes to signage for road hazards, not so good. You can't depend on it. Sometimes there'll be signs for a sharp corner, other times there won't be. In short, you've got to drive at the speed you can see. You cannot rely on the road signs to tell you when there's a hazard coming up. If you've driven before in the past, more than say 6 years ago, especially on the mainland, there wasn't many motorways in Greece, but now that's sort of changed in the last 2-3 years. So if you've driven between major towns in Greece, like I said, 5 or 6 or more years ago, it will have taken you a long time probably. To give an example, Igoumenitsa in the west of Greece to Thessaloniki used to take around 6.5 hours, but now it's motorway all the way and it takes around 3.5. So like I said, if you're used to getting around Greece on country roads, now these days there's much more motorways. Tolls, there's tolls on the new roads that have been built. I would say there's probably a toll every sort of 100 kilometers, something like that, very approximately. And at the moment they're around €2.40 each. So that budget that in, if you're going to Athens, I mean, you're going to be hitting like 4 or 5 tolls, maybe more. So it can get quite expensive. They're €2.40 at the moment, but the price is always going up. Road rage, touch wood, doesn't really exist in Greece. For sure, people get upset if you're holding them up, if you're going slow. But if you're going fast, people just let you get on with it as long as you're basically not getting in their way. It's pretty much live and let live. And the road rage that there is, it's more expressive than aggressive. I mean, I think in Britain you'd qualify it as aggressive, people getting out of cars and stuff like this. Look, I've heard stories that it does happen, but personally, touch wood, I've never experienced it. On motorways, if someone's hogging a lane, just overtake them in a different lane, just get on with your life. And likewise, if someone does the same to you, no need to be flashing your lights at them. Just let them get on with their lives. Everyone just live and let live, basically. Traffic volumes, much less in Greece, at least outside of Athens, much less than Britain, for sure, especially England and South Wales at least. The traffic moves, so you can see what the traffic is like this morning. This is a Saturday. It is around, what's the time? It's around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So you can see the roads are pretty quiet. Maybe there'll be 2-3 times as much traffic on a weekday rush hour, but generally the traffic moves. In short, driving in Greece is just a pleasure because you've got fantastic scenery, which means there's fantastic roads, and the traffic is moving. It's not congested with traffic, and for me that's the biggest problem with driving in Britain. So like I said, driving in Greece is a bit of a pleasure. People, it's not a different world driving anywhere else in Europe in my experience. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, go where they're going in a car, and the rules of the road are pretty generic. But I would say that people are definitely drive with more urgency in Greece. People are not more of in a rush, but they want to get to where they want to go. There's not many people dawdling, if you like. I mean, it can be pretty full on. But you know, like when I came here, I was not comfortable keeping up with the general speed of the traffic. So I was, you know, just driving in the slow lane, middle lane, until I had, you know, until I was up to speed, if you like, with well, until I was comfortable, you know, going at the same speed as the traffic. So if you feel the same way, regardless of what country you're in, you drive at the speed that you feel comfortable with, whether it's people, and if that means people are overtaking you, so be it. Roundabouts. Okay, roundabouts in Greece, there is no, from what this doesn't seem, I'm not sure what they teach in the highway culture or in driving lessons. There is no set way to deal with a roundabout. You've got to take every roundabout as it comes. What do I mean? You don't automatically have right of way because you're already on the roundabout, and you also don't have right of way just because you're joining a roundabout. Every roundabout can be different. You have to look at the road signs for a specific roundabout. If you do that, you'll probably be okay. But I would also look at the way that the other people are also dealing with a roundabout, and follow their lead. You know, follow the lead of the locals. So, like I said, just because you see a roundabout in the middle of nowhere, don't assume that you can just plow onto it, or if you're already on a big roundabout that you automatically have right of way. You don't. You need to, like I said, look at the road signs and see what other people are doing on the roundabout, and mirror what they do, if you like. That's probably the biggest thing, one of the biggest differences between Britain. Road surfaces generally are not very grippy, and in most cases, I would say 90%, 95% of the time, they give nowhere near as much grip as the roads do in Britain. So bear that in mind, especially when it's hot in the summer. The traction on the roads can go really low, and in the winter when they're cold, the traction could be really low also. So bear that in mind. This bit is new. This is like more. Oh my god, what's going on here? What's going on here? So there's the airport up there. So I expect either there's been an accident or we've got some sort of VIP cabin. Oh no, I know what it is. I know what it is. The farmers are on strike. Farmers are on strike. They block the roads here at the junctions. Anyway, I'll do another video on that. Yeah, so the road surfaces, yeah, if they're super hot, super cold, traction is minimal. In the wet, especially when it just starts to rain, roads can get very greasy. And if it's raining, standing water can be literally anywhere. That is simply not a priority in Greece, not to have standing water on the roads, because it rains so rarely here. So if you're driving along a road, any road, I don't care what it is, maybe not so much the new motorways, but any other road, it don't matter how fantastic it looks, if it's raining, you need to be aware that at any moment there may be a massive puddle of standing water somewhere. So, you know, bear that in mind. I don't care if it's an old motorway or country road or whatever, be prepared for that, just for there to be standing water in the lane that you're in. And I would take it easy generally in the rain until you know the road. It's nothing like Britain when it comes to the rain, because obviously it's very wet and the roads tend to not have standing water. But in Greece it ain't like that. That's the end of this list. Also, something I'll add: if you're driving in city centres especially, and small villages, towns, let's just clean this. The roads can be extremely narrow. First time I came here from Igoumenitsa-Thessaloniki, for me the hardest part of the trip was finding parking in the centre of Thessaloniki, just because the roads were so narrow. I'd never had to drive on roads that were so narrow. So, you know, something else to bear in mind if you're going to go into the city centre. Be prepared, the roads can get a bit narrow, especially if you're in a bigger car, sort of E-class and up. So that's the video. Those are the biggest things that I can think of. Hopefully it's helped you if you're going to be driving in Greece in the near future, or you've driven in the past and you're just wondering what it's like. Oh, one thing, the road surface, not so much potholes, but the roads in Greece are generally bumpy, very bumpy. So again, bear that in mind. If you're on a new bit of road, especially a country road, and you don't know it, just bear in mind that there could be huge bumps which could throw you offline when you're driving along. So that's a general, you know, the roads can be quite bumpy. Also bear that in mind if you're bringing a car here. If you're doing rock hard suspension with big wheels, it's not really suited to Greece. You want to be coming with a car with a nice big sidewall to get the, you know, so the car can breathe with the road. Okay, that's it. Those are the key points that I can think of. If you've got any criticism of this video, please leave them in the comments below. If you've got any suggestions for other videos, again, leave them in the comments. Please vote on the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching if I haven't said that already, and I'll see you again next time.